Alright guys, welcome back. This is part 2 of Channeler Basics. Now, the pet is what I wanted to dive more into today. Let's go ahead and click on our character screen. Let's bring up this pet window. It should be at the very bottom. I have the dark UI, so it probably doesn't look the same as what you may be used to in standard UI. This section, however, should look the same. You can see that we have icons at the top and we have icons at the bottom. The icons at the top are customizing the appearance of your pet, and the icons at the bottom are actually abilities. You gain these abilities by going up to critters. Now in this case I'm going to show you critters that are not available for essence absorption. You can see you got 2 red messages here, and these 2 critters are not glowing. Now if I head over here to one of these guys, let me make sure my pet is not going to attack. Okay. And as soon as this regenerates, or the cooldown drops anyways, so a couple more seconds. Alright, so see, he is nice and glowy. That means that I can gather his essence. Now, I've already gathered the essence for these guys, so it'll actually give me, or rather not allow me to cast my essence gathering ability on them. But you can also see over on the left-hand side, above my guildies congratulating, where it says Channeler Site in orange, and then a carrion hound belongs to the canine family. Alright. That might sound familiar to you because Beast Lords have family setups as well. So there's the avian family, there's the bat family, etc., etc. Each one of the Beast Lord tameable families is essence gatherable for you. Or rather be essence channelable? Channeler? Get it? I'm going to kill these horribly. Slowly, because I am a healers. I am not the DPSs right now. And we do get a nice set of AoEs as well, and I'll show those in a group later on. Oh, pet, attack the things. And you'll see some blue numbers perhaps, there you go, pop up above my head. That's actually this intercept that the pet is intercepting damage away from me. Loot that mem jam. Get out of dodge. Let's go up on this tower. That seems like a good spot. Okay. Well, he just came right up here. Hi. Creepy. Creepy little bastard. Okay. I guess big bastard? Is he bigger than me? It's extra creepy. Okay. So, let's go back into these abilities now that you've seen essence gathering. Go back to our constructs or pets window. Now if I click on one of these abilities here, you can see all of or their essences really, you can see the essences that I've gathered that match the category for that slot. Alright, I think I'm still missing about 2 of these. They're, I think, dire and things of that nature. Now, each of these essences does something. It's something your pet does or allows you to do something better to your pet. In this case, Reptile Essence, it heals your pet for 0.5% of health every 6 seconds. That's pretty handy since your pet's health is what allows it to heal the group members more effectively. So if you look at Aquatic Essence, on any combat or spell hit, this ability will cast Aquatic Essence on caster. The caster being the pet. So it heals group members' area of effect for 1 to 1.2% of maximum health. This effect cannot be critically applied. Now, it's not the group member's maximum health. I believe it is the pet's maximum health. So if you're late game, if you're grouped with a warden, wardens have a spell or a buff that raises the hit points of, group members and pets. So that in turn increases the amount of healing that the pet kind of casts out in this AoE. So that in itself is awesome, but that's late game. Okay. Now, Amphibian Essence actually reduces the amount of damage interposed by the construct's Intercept and Overloaded Interception. Overloaded Interception is way later. I think it's actually an AA. Can't remember. Don't quote me on that. Now, there's Intercepted Damage, so there's the total amount of damage that is preventing going to a player, and then there's the amount of damage that it interposes, so the amount of damage that it absorbs from the interception. So it's still taking the normal amount of, or it's still preventing the normal amount of damage, but it's not taking as much of the damage away from its own hit point pool, if that makes sense. Alright. So then you have things like these slot 2 essences. So it increases this, in this case it increases the healing received by 3%. Now if I go up to another one of these, reduces elemental, noxious, and arcane damage done to the pet by 2.5%. If you're out there fighting Vox, or not Vox, Nagafin, what is that disease one? I always hate it so much, I probably blocked out the name. Necromancer, it's cringe. And then we also have one that reduces physical damage done to the pet by 2.5%. So if you know there's a lot of AoEs going on with the mob, it's probably better to use that over using this, because this probably isn't enough of a return. So just think about that based on your situation. And it's good to just kind of review each individual one of these, and I think there's a pretty good little stun one as well, so if you're soloing, it might be better to use that one. Let's see, where is it? Okay, so Mystical Essence. On any combat or spell hit, this spell may cast Mystical Essence on the target of attack. It lasts for 2 seconds and triggers about 2 times per minute. It stuns the target, but it does not affect epic targets, of course. This is good, like, if you're taking on a heroic or something like that, and you're doing it solo, and you were kind of on the edge before, this might turn the tide, because number one, it'll stun them, and it'll cause them not to move towards you, so you could back away further from the mob, and you can hit it with your arrows. So that might be a route to go there. So there's a lot of strategy that could be involved here. And of course you will want to keep your pet nice and healed, and that's these right here. Oh, look how pretty it is. Basically everything looks about the same when you're casting. Alright, now that we've looked at the pet, let's go ahead and take a look at, now this is just a macro I set up. I think this is a lot easier, it's a very, very basic. Your attack spells, or combat art, specifically Vengeful Arrow, and I believe this one, and Barrage, they don't have a recast. Okay, recast on there, it says instant. So as soon as I cast that, I can cast it again, and actually I'll go ahead and set that one to primary. So it shows up. And I think I did not even save that. Let's sigh. Okay, done. Alright. Because of that, I like to put them underneath something that I'm going to be casting on the regular, and I might put it over the top of something that I'll, like a button that I'll hit only every once in a while. They do consume a bit of mana, however you will be casting them constantly when you are trying to do damage. So let's go ahead and show you that here. Go ahead and grab this gray. actually this out and pop that out. Now, Healing Arrow does have a recast. That's why I put Healing Arrow on top of Vengeful Arrow. Now, note that if you go ahead and just keep on jamming on that hot button, or on that macro that you've made, it will keep on casting Vengeful Arrow because its recovery time is actually shorter than Healing Arrow. So, click, wait, click, wait. It shouldn't interfere with your DPS too much. So you'll be able to see these two refresh on Alt 1 and Alt 2 on my second hotbar. So casting Healing Arrow first, not necessarily a good pooling method. So I just hit Vengeful Arrow, hit it again, nothing. So this recovery is nothing. I think I have 3 up there in my hot button. See that? It's just boom, cast, it's up again. Boom, cast, it's up again. Now, because I have the Healing Arrow set as the primary over on that hot button, it will show me when Healing Arrow is back up. So I'll know to stop casting or stop pounding on the macro, and then I will stop and then wait and then cast for Healing Arrow. That way it's not too much of a disruption to my DPS. Now, if you take a look up there on my... What the... Oh, I was blended with my... That freaked me out. Oh goodness. Alright. You can see up there on the upper left hand side, this takes quite a bit of mana. Now watch what happens when I click on my AoE, which is... Well, there's Shadowbind. But Barrage is my AoE. That really drains the power. But it's good for kiting. Now, I have Shadowbind on there because it's a snare, and it will allow me to back up. And as long as you do a zigzaggy pattern, you'll kind of keep things in a line, and you'll be able to hit more targets. It is a cone in front of you, not area of effect around you, so keep that in mind. And it shoots out pretty decently far, so you got a nice little range on that as well. Finish this guy off. Because I run out of power. Kill the thing, Pat. We do the things, yes. Or not. Or I killed it. That's cool too. Unexpected, but cool. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and go back up here. And I apologize for that screen jumping. I'm not sure what causes that. I think it's my mouse sensitivity. Alright. That pretty much wraps up everything but grouping with a channeler. I hope that helps, and good luck out there.